Hello, I'm Frank Brazel, professor of history at Manning University and a student in the PhD in History program at Liberty University. In this video series, we explore the history of Cumberland County during the colonial era and early republic. This research seeks to highlight the role of Cumberland County and of Fayetteville, its principal city, in the wider events of the American Revolution and early republic. In this fourth and final video of the series, we conclude our exploration of Cumberland County with a recollection of the visit of the man who gave the city its name, the Marquis de Lafayette. Welcome back for the concluding chapter of Cumberland County, a history.
The pride of all hearts and the delight of all eyes, the illustrious American General Lafayette arrived here on Friday evening last. We cannot pretend to give a regular, correct detail of the scenes to which his presence gave rise. The task were far above our ability. Such, however, as is in our power, we must offer our readers. Carolina Observer.
In the decades following the American Revolution, the prominent role Fayetteville had once enjoyed in state affairs had diminished. George Washington, the greatest military hero of the War of Independence, had been dead for more than 2 decades. The Marquis de Lafayette, Washington's son figure, had remained a key figure in Franco-American relations prior to the French Revolution, wherein the enlightened Lafayette had served as an early aristocratic convert to the Republican cause, and thus kept his head during the Reign of Terror. In the decades since his last visit to America during the 1780s, he had formed a reputation as both Republican and an abolitionist. Now, at the behest of President Monroe, an aging Lafayette returned to America once more to embark upon a grand tour of the nation for which he had given his service. By March 1825, he had reached North Carolina. On the rainy Friday afternoon of March 4th, he entered Fayetteville amidst military escort and in the company of North Carolina's governor. Judge Toomer, responsible for conducting the affair on behalf of Fayetteville, considered Lafayette a jewel of the American people, one of the surviving heroes of the Revolution. Toomer acknowledged Lafayette's sacrifice in the service of America, without failing to mention his disobedience to his own king in the process. Lafayette's touching response was to comment on Fayetteville's success as a municipality and his hope that the state of North Carolina would continue to offer improvements to Fayetteville. In exchange, the city would be made more useful to the state. Following the gathering, at which several hundred people were present, Lafayette entertained as many as could shake his hand. The first day concluded with a dinner at which toasts to the memory of Washington, to Lafayette, and to America were made, followed by a ball. The next morning, he would perform a review of local militia before a luncheon with Judge Toomer. He would continue to entertain visitors until evening, when he would then depart towards the South Carolina border under military escort. He had spent just over a day in Fayetteville, though its citizens had made the most of his visit. During his visit, Lafayette would continue to entertain visitors and was presented with a map of his namesake city by John McRae. The map detailed the streets of Fayetteville as they remain today. Rowan, Grove, Hay, Person, Gillespie, and Ramsey streets are all named for Patriot leaders. The angle of Bow and Person streets, where the Liberty Point resolves were signed, remains. Spring Street, where McDonald and McLeod's Highlanders had assembled and Flora MacDonald had bid farewell to her husband, is now Cool Spring Street. The ratification of the Constitution, which occurred at the Townhouse, the intersection of Hay, Green, Person, and Gillespie streets. Lafayette would later be received at the same location. They remain today. Through it all, Cross Creek still runs toward the Cape Fear, a gentle reminder of the town's first name, when it was a small landing for those coming and going from Wilmington to North Carolina's backcountry.